Have a wonderful day to each and everyone. Now let's discuss the chapter 3 social literacy with the topic issues in teaching social literacy. So here's the objectives. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to develop understanding of the working definition of social literacy. Explain the rules of parents and teachers in teaching social skills to children, and discuss and examine issues in social literacy. So what is social literacy? Social literacy is the student's ability to connect effectively with those around them. Students with a young age must be develop their speaking, writing, and reading, and their arithmetic skills to interact with their peers, family, their community, around their society. So, issues in teaching social literacy is how children develop their social literacy intrinsically and contextual matter, and it's not something which can be easily traced in a linear or developmental fashion. The acquisition of social literacy is a complex process which is historically and culturally conditioned and context specific. Children learn through social practices, both explicit and implicit, and become human through social interaction. Nevertheless, it is also the case that children engage in social activity before they are taught it. In other words, children are disposed to be social before they learn what sociability is all about. So what are literacy issues, or what are the causes of low literacy in our society? 1. Lack of a role model. Yes, no one in the family give attention in reading or in education. They not focusing on teaching their children their children in how to write and how to read. Instead, they focusing on their survival needs. They must focus on their survival needs rather than education. It's all about the poverty of many people in our society. Leaving school at a young age to care for a sick or dying family member. Yes, that is the one of the reason. Next, violence in the community, causing students to miss large amounts of school. There is a lot of children or students that they cannot deal who bullied them, other students. So there are two distinct ways of answering the questions on how children learn to live socially with each other and with adults. The first view is normative and communal views. From their culture, children learn customs that provide them with a guide to act in ways that minimize conflict. The second view is a pragmatic and individualistic. The social order of children is created by explicit and implicit agreements entered into by self-seeking individuals to avert the worst consequences of their selfish instinct. Okay. In this last view, which is pragmatic and individualistic, social order is dependent on sanctions and formal agreements. Rules are obeyed because they confer personal advantage on a child, which is in the normative and communal views. Children are persuaded of the moral force of acting socially through their voluntary associations with others, both in their immediate circles such as the family and in the wider community. For example, through membership of church or a club, isa na siyang malaking grupo. Yes, the child in this normative view will not only know the correct behavior, but will perform the rule without any need for regular conscious reference to the rules governing it. So, teaching social literacy in school is not as easy as you know, as it appears to be due to subjective standards of morality and inherent human capacity to judge and make excuses. So, subjective standards of morality says that our morals are all human-made and can vary from person to person. Yes, the natural outcome of postmodern philosophy is that truth and morality are considered subjective and open to individual interpretation. This can be seen in the current culture, where our actions and behavioral patterns that were once considered bad have now become acceptable. So much so that many once consider them to be even good when the standards of measure between good and bad changes. This gives us license to change as well and opens the gates to all kinds of abuse. This effects pulls the rug out from under any and all attempts at true justice and equitability, since they themselves rely on a fixed moral standards. Interestingly, many of those who insist on a subjective moral standards will be the first to demand for a fixed moral standards when they themselves fall victim to a subjective morality's inevitable outcome. So human nature, shaped by combination of factors, human biology, and how it interacts with the physical environment. So while we would all like to believe that people are inherently good, experience has taught us that the inherent goodness of humanity is at best unreliable. Sometimes it is there, often it is not. We are quick to champion the cause of moral uprightness, justice, and equity. But when our words and actions come under the scrutiny, so in other words, we insist that others be judged according to a fixed moral standards but invoke a subjective one when our own behavior is questioned. We demand justice. Oh, we are you demand or we are demand justice when we perceive ourselves to be victims of wrongdoing. But we surround ourselves with excuses when we do wrong. We insist that others treat us equitably, but are reluctant when treating others with equity cost more than we expected. So, for your evaluation, just click the link below to take my evaluation form. And that's it. Thank you for your listening and hope you understand my discussion about issues in teaching social literacy. Once again, thank you.